Welcome back to the Angus Report. I'm Crystal Albers. We're continuing our discussion on managing your feed resources during these drought conditions, and I'm here with Dr. John Paterson of NCBA and Dr. Larry Corah of Certified Angus Beef. Before we went to break, we were discussing some of the feed alternatives that are out there right now, and Larry, you mentioned there's a lot of wheat pasture that's being used.
We're actually, in some parts of the country, did get an early fall rain to really get some wheat pasture. If you've got forage, anything that was planted either in August, early September, and can do some fall grazing, normally we reserve wheat pasture for the younger cattle, the stocker cattle, and a lot of it will still be used with those kind of cattle. But also, if you've got some thin cows, that's not a bad place to put some thin cows, try to put a little bit of flesh on them. Developing replacement heifers can be developed nicely on wheat pasture. So hopefully we get some wheat pasture this fall that we can really utilize. That is a great, that's great feed, high in protein, high in energy. Cattle do extremely well.
And of course, another option is running cattle on corn stalks.
We'll have a lot of corn stalk grazing going on. It's amazing what's been baled this year. Normally things that producers don't bale just because of the shortness of feed. They baled a lot of things. John, one of those is wheat straw, and we've got some people for years going way back. We used to talk about ammoniation. We're seeing some ammoniation of some of this residue material, an interest in that again.
Oh, you know, in the late 70s, the energy crisis, we did a lot of ammoniation. Stack straw bales, corn stalk bales, cover them with plastic, inject anhydrous ammonia under the plastic. That's come back. Lots of questions on doing that. Again, it's a little bit dangerous, but it really will increase digestibility at least 10%. Make it like meadowgrass hay, prairie hay, at least that quality. Increase the protein equivalent some, but it's it's an NPN source on there. But boy, the big issue is increases intake, maybe 15 to 20%. So ammoniation of crop residues is an option for a lot of guys that've got access to anhydrous. Once again, you can balance these rations, maybe using ingredients that you've not normally used before. And I agree with Larry on using some of these lower quality forages, maybe upping the energy value and then combining them with say a byproduct like distiller's grains, wheat nibs, something like that.
So at what point in that calf's life is it most important to be sure that you're getting that animal the right nutrition?
That is such a huge question. I would say the data that we've been looking at recently, second trimester of pregnancy is where this thing is really starting. And Larry made a good comment that I want to re-emphasize. Cows are thin coming into the fall. Excuse me, maybe thinner than they've normally been. The data from Wyoming and Nebraska shows that if you don't take care of that cow, let me change that. If you don't feed the fetus during that second trimester, the long-term effects on maybe quality of the steers, carcass quality of the steers, but to me is important, reproductive efficiency of that heifer calf can really be compromised. So you starve that cow, you don't feed her adequately, the productivity of her heifer calf long-term may be compromised on that as well. So if you ask me, when do we start? The data from Steve Ford and Funston and Vanami and those are all telling us, guys, you better start in that second trimester of pregnancy.
And then also you don't want to make any decisions that also affect that carcass quality as well down the road. And that's something that we can continue discussing when we return after this.
This segment of the Angus Report is brought to you by Omega Farms, a commitment to environmental stewardship, a place for outdoor recreation and hunting opportunities, and a source for quality, industry-leading Angus genetics. Omega Farms, become a part of the tradition. Visit us at omegafarms.com.